They would replace it with vouchers. There'd be no more guaranteed benefits. Congratulations, you're on your own with the Republican plan. But luckily, it won't become law because President Obama put his foot down on that and said it won't happen on his watch. This GOP all got on board the crazy, possibly politically suicidal train driven by Congressman Paul Ryan. Democrats try to help a brother out by warning the Republicans.
I want to say to my Republican colleagues, do you realize that your leadership is asking you to cast a vote today to abolish Medicare as we know it?
You can't say they didn't warn you. I don't know why Republicans believe killing Medicare is a winning issue when more than 3/4 of Americans think it shouldn't be touched under any circumstance. But hey, it's your political funeral. Have at it. 235 Republicans voted to privatize Medicare and lower tax rates for the wealthy and for corporations. I don't get it. Didn't they already have the rich vote locked up? Okay, all right, have at it. 119 Republicans voted to cut Medicaid and raise the retirement age for Social Security. That was an even more radical right-wing proposal that they also voted on today. So that's the agenda of the GOP, and that's what President Obama will use against them as he begins to kick off his re-election campaign. He made a splash last night with a fundraiser that reportedly earned him a quick $2 million. Not bad for a night's work. But what made real news were some fiery comments about Republicans that were made off mic but were accidentally recorded back at the White House.
I said to them, let me tell you something. I spent 1.5 years getting health care passed. The notion that I'm going to let you guys undo that in a 6-month spending bill? I said, you want to repeal health care? Go at it. We'll have that debate. But you're not going to be able to do that by nickel and diming me in the budget. You think we're stupid?
Damn! All right, the president's getting serious. He then unloaded on Congressman Ryan.
So, when Paul Ryan says his priority is to make sure that we're, he's just being America's accountant and, trying to, be responsible. I mean, this is the same guy who voted for 2 wars that were unpaid for, voted for the Bush tax cuts that were unpaid for, voted for the prescription drug bill that cost as much as my health care bill but wasn't paid for.
Man, I wonder if Paul Ryan's going to cry about that, too. Remember last time? He's like, oh, he was unfair to me. Why did he do that to me? So I'm looking forward to his response here. Now, that was at an event for donors, but I hope we get to hear more of that in public from the president. He'll have an opportunity next week when he hits the road to sell his plan for the budget and his vision for America.
The idea that you would give the average millionaire a $200,000 tax cut and then pay for it by charging 33 seniors $6,000 more a year for Medicare is just beyond imagination. I mean, if the Democrats wanted talking points for a campaign, they just wrote them for us. This country, at least since the 1930s, it's tried to have a kind of a form of caring capitalism because strict capitalism just doesn't work. You concentrate too much wealth in the hands of too few, and the many don't have enough just to keep the economy going. But this is like something out of a Dickens novel, what the Ryan budget does. And it's unsustainable. It's not good for our economy. And we're already at a point of no return. When 1% of Americans own, close to half of the nation's wealth, and they're making about 1/4 of the nation's income, and the bottom 90% are sucking wind. In fact, the median wage has gone down. There's something wrong. But what's wrong is not that we're taxing the wealthy too much. We're not investing enough in the middle class and those struggling to get into the middle class.
I mean, I think they're in the grip of an ideology. What David Stockman told me last week was, quote, a religious obsession. They believe in the religion of tax cuts, even when the country is facing bankruptcy. So they want to take those top rates all the way down to 25%. That's part of the Ryan plan that hasn't gotten very much attention. They essentially want to, and I say this, Cenk, you and I have argued about because I'm a little more of a moderate Democrat, but I say this in all seriousness, they want to repeal the New Deal and the Great Society. That's what this vote does. It takes us back to the 1920s. So the question for Democrats is whether they have the chops to get the Congress back, take this to the country, and explain that this is a radical, and I believe they should use that word radical over and over and over again. This is a radical Republican attempt to repeal much of the 20th century social contract that we established in this country.
Jonathan, I actually loved how Congressman Moran framed it just a minute ago when he said it's the Sheriff of Nottingham bill, and it really is, and and it seems like a disastrous strategy for the Republicans.
Well, not necessarily, because the Democrats have to execute, and if they can't, they should find another line of work. And here they've been given a huge gift. I didn't expect the Ryan plan to be nearly this bad, nearly this advantageous for Democrats, but I'm not fully confident that the Democratic Party is going to be able to grab this, find the right sound bites, slogans, frames to drive this home. Sheriff of Nottingham doesn't quite work. It's a little too literary to translate all the way to the bulk of the American people. Repeating the words radical 10,000 times, that might begin to get the message home. And that they're killing Medicare.
I hear you on that.
It's getting a certain argument across so that everybody in the United States, whether it has to be repeated ad nauseum, knows that the Republican Party now stands for killing Medicare. That is not an exaggeration, a distortion. They will try to say, oh, no, our voucher program doesn't kill Medicare. It does. The Wall Street Journal said it, quote, ends Medicare. So after many years where Democrats kind of cried wolf about Republicans wanting to, throw Granny into the snow, this time that's what they have just voted to do.